Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Travel Talk with Mark and Nate. I'm your host, Mickey Mark, and I'll bring in my co-host from the East Coast, Neverland Nate. How's it going, bud?
Hey, Mark. How's Texas?
It's great, dude. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful day here today. How about
not
you?
not here. We had a lot of rain. It was cool, but it was like 70 yesterday. I really like that intro. It's
It's nice, isn't
whimsical.
it?
It's whimsical.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it. It's funny.
It took me a lot of work, so hence why we've been gone for 2 weeks since our last show. So, as you know, for those who've been with us before, Disney Talk has now transformed into Travel Talk. So, Nate and I, we've learned a lot over the past year. Obviously, you guys have been with us throughout our journey, and for those who have just joined us, welcome, thank you.
Thanks for
Um,
coming.
yeah,
How are you?
we decided that, hey, we like Disney, we love Disney, everybody knows that, but there's a lot more to travel than just Disney. You guys want to see more than just Disney, so we know that. So that's
Yep.
why we've kind of changed things up. So we're still gonna kick it back old school. We'll talk some Disney, but we're gonna show you some new stuff. We're gonna talk about some new adventures, some new experiences coming up,
Yeah.
and yeah, we're gonna have some fun. So I guess let's kick things off. Like I said, old school style. Let's talk about
Yeah.
some Disney news going on there. A lot has happened, as you know. We've got some big announcements. The first big
Lots of
one, which
strides. Lots of strides going on
yes,
in the
yes,
Disney. Well, in general, things are really starting to open up, and we're seeing it obviously all over the travel industry. But yeah, go ahead. Yep, this is the big one. The big elephant in the room.
the big elephant in the room. So as of yesterday, April 8th, 2021, if you're watching this on the replay, Walt Disney World no longer requires guests to wear a mask while taking a photo.
Right.
So for all those people who have wanted to know, why can't I take my mask off to take a photo? Well, you don't have to ask anymore. You can do it. So as long as
Yep.
you're physically distanced, stationary, and that's pretty much it, right? So just like the food mask policy, you've got to be stationary away from everybody else, and you can take a photo. And for
Right.
those of you who are going to ask, I know it's already been asked 100 times, what about Memory Maker? What about PhotoPass? Yes. So you can still take your mask off for that
Yep.
PhotoPass picture in front of the Magic Kingdom, in front of, the Hollywood Tower of Terror,
Everywhere.
everywhere that the
There's
PhotoPass, even if you're
there's
just taking a
aerial
selfie.
photographers everywhere waiting to take your picture. Just so
Yep,
keep that in mind when you're thinking about Memory Maker, because the amount
exactly.
of photos you come home with are a lot better because they're
It's
professionally
ridiculous.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous the
Yep.
amount of magic that you get just from even those photos, right? Because um, the ability to get all those magic shots, right? To get
Yeah.
the on-ride
On ride
photos,
on ride photos. Yeah. Same thing.
right?
Yeah.
So the ability to take those photos without the mask is great, but still, PhotoPass photographers will not use your camera to take
Right.
your picture. So
Sure.
that's still part of that whole thing. But hey, it's a step in the right direction, right? So
Right. And
Cassandra,
again, it's outside.
right?
Outside,
Correct.
it's stationary. Don't think that if you're on Seven Dwarfs and you're gonna start coming down the hill that you're gonna flash everybody.
Right, right. So
It's not
Cassandra
gonna
brings
work.
up a good point. Can I take my mask off on the rides yet? No, you
No,
cannot. Right.
no,
So this is not a relaxation fully of the mask policy at Walt Disney World. It's
right.
just for the purpose of taking photos, and it applies all over the resort. So let's
Yeah,
say if you're at, Three Bridges over at Coronado, and you want that perfect sunset backdrop of you and your wife or you and your husband, a perfect selfie. There's nobody around. You can take your mask off, take a
right.
photo, no problem. Right.
Yeah,
So
no.
it doesn't apply just to the park. So it's great
Look,
news.
it's just positive. More things are starting to return to more of a normalcy from the situation. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's great.
every positive stride is a positive stride. I
Right.
guess
I,
that's the
I
best
just
way to put
know
that.
I'm looking forward to my next trip to be able to, a year later, because me and my son will be there.
Yeah,
We'll be able to take a photo without our mask on, and you will be able to see those smiles and those faces again. And that's what
yeah,
really
absolutely.
makes memories, right? The mask and everything were fun. They were great for photos, and it was a period. But now we're back to somewhat normalcy where we can
Yep,
actually show the excitement and the joy of those special moments. So,
yep.
while we're talking about photos, let's talk about a new photo offering that is going to be available starting real soon, if not isn't already available, and that is the PhotoPass Capture Your Moment experience. So, if you don't know what this is, Disney launched this last year, right before the pandemic. And basically, if you have Memory Maker, if you have a one-day Memory Maker package, or for an annual pass holder, you can spend $50 for a 20-minute private photo session. So this is for anything like milestones, celebrations, proposals, birthdays, first visits, whatever. I mean, if you just want to say, hey, we want our own little private photo op, you can do it, right? So it's only limited, of course, right now to the Magic Kingdom. I'm sure they will expand this to other parks as it becomes more and more popular. But we know some people ourselves that were just there a few weeks ago when we were there, and they did a gender reveal. Yeah, a baby reveal, exactly. So it was really cool. So again, this is something that you can book inside the My Disney Experience app or online at the Walt Disney World website. So it's really
not bad.
cool.
$50 is not bad for a 20-minute private session. I mean, they do their best to, obviously it's not going to be, a by yourself. This isn't a 5 a.m. wedding. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But definitely, they'll take you off to the side and get you as clean shots as possible. Folks don't stay over there, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's a nice little personal touch.
Exactly. It's different from the regular PhotoPass experience where it's, click, 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 go, click, 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 go. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is more of a catered experience, I guess you could call it. So, yeah, so that's really cool. Some other great news that we've got. Obviously, we've been talking about it for a few weeks now. The reopening out west in California. More and more cast members are getting called back each and every day, which is great to hear.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
But
good for you guys.
Yeah, what's even more awesome is what we've been waiting to since basically last summer was the opening of Avengers Campus. So this has been basically where the Bugs Life area was before, right next to the old Tower of Terror, which is the Guardians Tower now. So this all kind of completes that whole section, right? The Avengers Campus opens June 4th for those at the Disneyland Resort. And for those wanting to visit the Disneyland Resort, unfortunately, it's just for local residents at this time. But
California resident and everybody, you can't call up Uncle Joe and cousin.
Exactly. Everybody has to show proof.
Right. Everybody's got to be living there.
Yep. But hey, you know what? They're reopening, so it's great. So who knows?
More positive things, taking big steps forward.
So a couple of the things that are going to be open there is going to be, of course, the Avengers Campus, the main show building there itself, which is going to house, for now, some live entertainment and character offerings that happen throughout the land. You're also going to have the opportunity to go, with Spider-Man and the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, or WEB, to basically take on these spider bots and everything else. And it's a really cool interactive ride.
It's an experience. It's not just a coaster, and it's not just
think of kind of like how if you've ever rode Smuggler's Run, right? So what you do determines the outcome of the ride. It's kind of going to be the same thing. What you do and how you respond and however many things you shoot and stuff will determine how your mission goes. So it's really cool. And then, of course, the Pym Test Kitchen. So if you've ever seen any of the Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp movies, you know that Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, likes to shrink and blow things up in size. So this is going to take a new fun twist on that, where here's one of the items that they have. Basically, it's a Pimini. I'm sorry, this is not the Pimini. This is the basically their spaghetti pasta bowl. So it's got a huge, just massive meatball, and then these little tiny, macaroni noodles. So pasta noodles. So stuff like that. They're going to have huge, giant pretzels. I mean, like bigger than your head. And then they've also got this cool little guy. I'll see if we can play it here. Won't have any audio, but that is not, I repeat, not a person. That is a full-fledged animatronic.
That's a robot.
That is a robot.
That is what that is. It's a robot.
That's actual live test footage of the one of the character experiences that will happen inside the land. So I won't give away too much, but you're going to get to see Spider-Man fly in and then appear for kind of like a photo op character meet and greet. So that's going to be really cool. All right. Enough about the East Coast. Let's talk about back over in Disney World. We've got
that was the West Coast, Mark.
I'm sorry. West Coast. Left, right, right, left. It's all backwards on screen. So back to the East Coast. So we've got some great news about Epcot. We've got Food and Wine is literally ending or starting earlier and lasting even longer this year. So it's going to start July 15th, the middle of summer, and go all the way through November, just like it normally does before the holidays. But you're talking well over 3.5 months of plenty of things to eat, lots of
things to drink. Yeah,
plenty of things to drink and lots of things to do. So that's definitely going to be a great time. And then you've got Remy's Ratatouille Adventure opening up October 1st, right in the middle of Food and Wine. So an even better reason to go. And those that have been waiting for the new replacement for mouse gears is actually coming this summer. So the new the new store is going to be Creation. So I guess they're going to be retiring the mouse gears name, but this will be in the old mouse gears footprint. Lots of open window design, lots of natural light.
And they're bringing back the Coca-Cola.
Yes.
The whatchamacallit zone. Why is it escaping my head? The Cool Zone?
The Cool Zone, yes.
Cool Zone, yeah.
Yep. So right down here, adjacent to the shop, will be the revitalized Club Cool, hosted by Coca-Cola.
There it is.
So you for sure can go back and get your Beverly again and take all your friends and trick them into getting that Beverly
is behind Test Track.
Right.
That misting tent. I think that's Cool Zone.
That's where you can get the they used to have the build your own like slushy. Basically, you could add popping pearls and whatever kind of stuff in there. But yeah, will be where you can go back and get your free samples of the Beverly and watch all your friends and family make that weird face. So definitely looking forward to that.
What's happening, Pat?
Good to see you. Pat. Good to see you, bud.
Good old Beverly.
Welcome. Hey, Bridget.
It's not really not that bad.
I don't know. I've had it, and I won't have it again. It definitely is a unique taste, put it that way.
Right.
I think the one that I like the most, I forget which one it was the one from Japan.
Okay.
It was real sweet.
That's the citrus one. I like that one.
Yeah, it looks like lime green. Looks almost like puke, but it was really refreshing. So I was like,
it's not bad. It doesn't taste like Sprite or 7-Up, that kind of
citrus. Yeah, it was almost like a Mountain Dew look, but it was like it had no
without all that. Right, exactly. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We want to start taking this in other directions. Obviously, we all have, our hearts are in Disney and Universal all the time, just because it's where a lot of the people that we interact with go and like, and we like it as well. But Disney does other things besides, cruises and
theme parks,
Disney World and Disneyland. Yeah, so they do Adventures by Disney. So it's something that we wanted to start sharing with you guys, because Mark and I have to learn all this stuff, so we're going to tell someone about it, because we're not just going to sit here and just think about it all the time in our head. So Adventures by Disney, it's a vacation. It's a all-inclusive private guided tour through tons of destinations. So, I mean, you've got Africa and Asia, Central and South America, Europe, North America.
They cover every continent, every continent.
And you can see Italy private adventure, and it has all the stuff for it. I'm just going to look up one that we were just talking about earlier, but
the Dude Ranch one.
They have a Disneyland like experience, so you go down to Disneyland and do other things, culturally. But let's go to Montana.
Right, so while you're pulling that up, Nate, Adventures by Disney is Disney's signature services vacation brand. So when you say signature services, that is the overall parent company that does everything from Adventures by Disney to the VIP tours inside the park. So that Southern California, Disneyland Adventures by Disney includes those VIP tours and stuff are built into that package, so that you're getting that when you go to the park. Right. So those kind of, like they say, exclusive things that only Adventures by Disney can offer. So,
but as you can see, the video or the
slideshow there,
you go, they bring you everywhere, all the spots that you'd never want to miss. It's all bucket list, everything that you do with Adventures by Disney. And again, it's this is 7 days. It's in Montana, so I mean, even if you just take a drive across country and go here, 16 meals. So I think it's breakfast every day.
It's usually 2 meals a day is covered by Disney, and then the third meal you're free to do whatever you want. So it could be a dinner, you get a free to do whatever you want, or you maybe do a lunch on your own, or you do a breakfast on your own. But you're guaranteed at least 2 meals a day. And then the other great thing is your transportation. So you have a start and end destination. Usually it's the same spot. Or, in this case in the U.S., it may be a different city within Montana or Utah, whatever.
Utah and Arizona, you fly into one airport and fly out the other. So.
Right. So basically, you just have to get to the destination. Disney takes care of all your transportation and transfers in between. If you're hitting, buses, whatever, they take care of all of it. And then at your destination, at the end of your trip, that's where you would pick back up and take your trip back home. So whether it be plane ride, drive, wherever you're going to do. So that's the great thing, right? You only got to cover a round trip ticket or 2 one-ways from here or there, and then everything else is covered. So when he says all inclusive, Yes, it's all inclusive because everything as far as your excursions are included, your 2 meals
Right.
a day you're included, your
Yep.
lodging's included, your
Yep.
tour guide, and you're not just getting one tour guide.
You
A
get
lot of times
two.
you're getting two, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting a Disney tour guide, and then you're getting a tour guide who either is, of that particular area or region that you're in. They know it inside and
Yep.
out. They live there. Or if you're over in Italy or something like that, you're talking to somebody who is real Italian, right? They live there. They do all the experiences day in and day out with their guests, and they
Right.
know all those special nuances that other tour operators aren't going to know. So,
So obviously, this is a more of a rustic feel where you're riding
yep,
horses and things like that. But it tells you, here's where you'll be for 1. Here's 2 to 3. You can come in this way. So you go from Montana into Wyoming into Yellowstone National Park, and you'll see things that instead of just pulling over and looking through the viewfinders that they
right.
have way at the top, or
You're going off on
random.
a hike, or you're going
Right.
on, wherever.
So see, it tells you. So here you go, 16 meals. So 6 breakfasts, 4 lunches, 6 dinners, 7
Yep.
days. So yeah, you flight information. That's where you go and take off, and take off and arrive. Excuse me. Minimum age is 6. Suggested age is 8+. Just because you're going to be outside a lot. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that they want the, have a. But I mean, look at this stuff. 320 guest ranch activities, Mammoth Hot Springs Terrace, and I mean, obviously, it's all. There you go. Included on your adventure guides. So you get 2 adventure guides, like we said, the Disney one, and then it's just your group. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just
So if it's a group of
one
10 or
group.
15, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's nobody
that's it.
else. It's not
Yeah.
hundreds of people. A good
Right.
example they use when we go through the training on this. Let's say if you want to go to the Louvre in Paris, right? Or you want to go to, the Vatican in Rome or wherever. A lot of times those lines to get into those places are longer than,
Oh yeah.
let's just say, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in a good
Right.
day, right? You know what I mean?
3-4 hours. Yeah.
Here's the
Yep,
thing with Disney.
absolutely.
Disney has the power of the name, right? So they can get opportunities like that to bypass those lines, a fast pass, if you will.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
as you're walking past the thousands of people that are with other tour groups standing in line to get into the Vatican, you're going to the fast pass entrance and you get a
Yeah, you walk
private
right in. Yeah, excuse me.
right
Here we
in,
go.
hey,
Yep,
out of my
VIP.
way. You know what I mean? Disney.
It's literally VIP. It's a VIP experience. So you're going to
Yep.
get VIP treatment everywhere.
Exactly. And then that's the kind of
Yeah.
curated, adventures that they do. So it's really your vacation taken to the next level.
River cruises. It's
River cruises
you
are
can go
huge.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Disneyland, Paris, vacation, Germany, Greece, Iceland. So not just, theme parks and, you have older kids who, want to do, or you guys want to do a different kind of a vacation and not,
Right.
a theme park. I mean, you can still stay with the Disney name and, go on literally an adventure, So,
And one thing people don't realize when they think Disney is good at 2 things. Well, I mean, more than that, really, but 2 things in my mind: telling stories and pleasing their guests.
absolutely.
I mean,
no one does it better.
nobody.
I'm gonna tell you. Yep.
Yeah. So that's just ever more reason to do something with a Disney by Adventure or Adventures by Disney, because
Right.
you're getting that satisfaction is going to come out of a Disney trip.
Right.
You've been to the theme parks, you've done the cruise line, this is the next step, right? This is the ultimate Disney vacation, so to speak.
It is. It is. I've heard cruises are better than the parks. I haven't been on a Disney cruise yet, but I've heard that that's better than the parks. And this is just everything else, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So.
And a lot of those Adventures by Disney adventures you can actually combine with, a cruise or, so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
So like they have one for Disney Cruise Line where you can literally do a land and sea. That's put together by Adventures by Disney, where you can go to the cruise line and the parks and have all the VIP stuff in between. So, just lots of opportunities. And I said, again, every continent. So you want to go to Africa, you want to go to Asia, you want to go to Antarctica. They've got these 14-day cruises to the Arctic and Antarctic circles where you're literally getting up to icebergs that have these seals on them. And you're hopping off in a little dinghy of maybe 14, 15 people, smaller than that. And you're going right up to the edge of these glaciers, 20, 30 feet away. And you're getting these opportunities to take photos,
Look at that.
You
a
know,
2 to 5 day escape. Let's check that. Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
2 to 5 day. That's Disneyland, winter in Wyoming escape. 4 days, 7 meals, 7 sites.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah. All right. So, and there you go. Trip price starting from $19.49. So that's per person for 4 days, 7 meals, 7 sites, 2 tour guides, all your transfers, all your everything but your flights.
Yeah, everything that getting to that destination is included, pretty
That's
much.
it. Yep. Yeah. And that's really not bad. You look at all inclusives, you're right around the same thing, and you don't get this kind of attention. You know, I mean, this is
I mean, even club level at an all inclusive, you're not getting that type of curated experiences where things are literally tailored to your group, your people, your family.
Right.
You're doing a wine tasting or you're doing a pasta making course in Italy, right?
Yep.
It's maybe 10 people. You're not 100 people in a big
right.
room. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
all wearing translation
right
things in your ears and all that now.
Yeah, you get that authentic experience. So, yeah, really cool. And if you have any questions, guys, about this,
or anything,
feel free to reach out.
Just let us know. Look at this.
Both of our
so like we were just saying, pre-cruise escapes. So you could go to Buenos Aires for a cruise, 4 days, and then head over to any whatever cruise you want to go on.
Yeah, the Danube River. You know what I mean? Like, in the Christmas time, right? So or go do Oktoberfest, right? Look at that one. Who wouldn't want to do Oktoberfest and then hop back on the boat and off to your next port? So
next adventure.
Yeah, literally, it is an adventure at every port. So
I like those because they stop all the time. You're not just like on cruise ships. Sometimes you're at sea for 3 days before you hit the island or wherever you're headed, whatever your destination is going to be.
20 meals, 8 days. Wow, that's a lot of food.
Right.
That's almost 3 meals a day.
But yeah. So I mean, you get what you pay for and stuff like this, but you're on a river cruise boat. You know what I mean?
Yep. AMA Waterways, one of the luxury leading river cruise companies in the world. So you pair that with Disney, you've got luxurious boats, great storytelling,
all the way to Budapest.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. AMA,
Austria, Hungary.
20 meals, Munich, and you take out of Budapest. But still, I mean, that's a crazy adventure. It's an awesome thing that's an experience,
Yeah.
Look at like 8 days at Disney. You know what I mean? With meals. You
can only walk around Epcot and see the country so many times, right? This is actually going to see the country. So no more walking through 5 minutes of Italy. Let's go to Italy. Let's go to the Amalfi Coast. Let's go to Sorrento. Yep. Let's go to, Sicily, right? Let's see all those places that really are.
You can go to Japan. But so that's just, one of the other things that we had been getting caught up on. Obviously, Mark and I were down at our conference, and we sat through a lot.
That was what, 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
Man, almost a whole month.
Yep. Adventures by Disney, all inclusives. And that's the stuff we want to be able to share with you guys. Just the stuff that we're learning, because it might be something that you haven't thought of yet, or a place you want to go and you didn't even know how you would do it. Sometimes Googling random things takes you down a wormhole anyway, and you end up on Discogs buying vinyl at 2 a.m, drinking wine. Stuff like that happens.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. So let's talk real quick about a lot of the destinations that are really popular right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So everything's kind of, reopening back up. A lot of people are getting out. Just this past week, the TSA, screened more people for the first time in the past, like 14 months, something like that. It was over 1.5 million people a day.
Universal has hit capacity
every day,
4 days or something like that.
Yeah, like by 10 o'clock at capacity.
10 a.m. Yeah,
and that's an hour after opening.
Happening. People are out there. A lot of people are getting vaccinated, like way more than you hear about. I didn't even want to use that word, but way more than you're hearing about. I'm just saying I've been to Disney
handful of times now.
4 times since the pandemic. Like since I left, okay, so 4 times since it shut down, and as long as you're smart, wash your hands and do the thing. The situation isn't as bad as you may think,
right?
Or it may seem, or just
smart. Exactly. Media blows everything out of proportion, right? We're not saying, it's not bad. It can't happen to anybody. We're not saying that.
No. It's a bad thing. Absolutely.
Right. But if you just use common sense, if you're smart, wear a mask, wash your hands, be social distance from people, don't be in crowds. It works. It's proven to work. It has worked, right? So,
but also, can we just talk about the fact that whoever just like sneezed on someone, like what's wrong with you? What I mean? Like, don't do that.
Definitely, this has changed the way that we look and do and see things as a world now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and things have changed for the better, right? So, Like for instance, we talked about this last time, the facial recognition technology that they're
Yep.
testing at Magic Kingdom, right? It's been going off now for a little over a week without a hitch. I haven't heard any
Yeah.
big, and I haven't heard somebody getting arrested because they refused to scan their eyeballs and all. None of that's happened, right? So it's totally voluntarily, but you know what? It makes things more easier, more convenient. So that's ultimately what a lot of this has come out is we've gotten more convenience. Mobile ordering, right? Checking into your hotel.
And that's just so key too. It's just so much better than walking into that place and standing in those lines 8, 10 wide. It's like a highway.
Right. Why the kid in front of you sneezes and coughs all over you, what I'm saying? Right.
But it's just easier. You're getting onto the Haunted Mansion. You look down at your phone, you order a sandwich.
Yeah.
You go pick it up when you're done. That's the most convenient thing on the ever.
It really is. Checking into your hotel. You don't even have to go to the lobby anymore.
No, I used my phone to get in my room.
You can use your phone. You can use your Apple Watch. So the new Disney Magic Mobile that they just launched, you can use on your iOS device and Apple Watch. Android devices, of course, coming soon. But, just one more thing that I don't have to carry around with me, right? So if I forget my Magic Band, but I've got my Apple Watch, I'm not locked out of my room and have to go to the front desk at 11 o'clock at night in my underwear because I was going to get ice. So, it's happened, right? So, convenience. Absolutely. So a lot of this has all been basically for the better, I say.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you just said in the busiest spots that we've been dealing with lately.
So
obviously we've touched on it 4 or 5 times. Yeah, Florida is very popular right now. If you look at flights are starting to go up now.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Because people are traveling. I mean, there were tickets for like $30-$35, each way, and now I'm looking at we see flights $250, $275 coming out of here.
I paid $330 round trip a flight for Orlando for the middle of July. Yep. Normally that would cost me under $300 on Southwest round trip. So, I've seen things like I just looked up today, Hawaii, another popular destination, right? People want to go in the middle of November, right before Thanksgiving. It's literally $1,700 a person round trip.
Yeah, I know.
I took that same flight a year ago and it was $700. So, I mean, it's all about supply and demand. Everybody wants to travel. Airlines and all these tour operators and destinations literally can't hire people back fast enough to keep up with the demand. So,
and speaking of busy places, Mexico.
Cancun
is out of control.
Well, let's talk why, right? So Cancun.
I don't want to say out of control. That makes it sound bad. I'm just talking about travel.
Everybody's going there.
Cancun right now. Everyone.
Yeah, Cancun, Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen, Cabo.
They don't have enough people at the resort to answer the phone when we call.
Yeah, because sorry, we're helping a guest.
They literally they said that their travel is up. Obviously, they've been shut down for a while, but and like I'm sure what Mark was just about to attest to is that it's half capacity, and that's all that they can have is half capacity,
and they're filling it up.
It like this. I mean, we can't find dates. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, we'll go back and use Disney as an example, right? The entire month of April, you can't get a park pass. There's nothing left. No. May's already starting to,
May, June, that all of them are filled up. I watch posts all day long. I just saw it yesterday. Why is Hollywood Studios always booked up? And it's like, get a park hopper and cross your fingers.
Exactly. Right.
It's the summer. This is the situation's getting a little bit better around certain areas with people, adhering to the rules or the requirements, regulations. There you go. But yeah, I mean, when we were down there, we were talking to Apple Leisure Group, or one of the presenters at our conference, and they were like, you guys are booking like 28% higher than ever. No,
we're beating their own in-house sales team, like their own agents. We're beating them. So that's just like, and it's not just because we are who we are. It's because people are going like crazy to these destinations.
They want to get it. They want, and why not be in a beautiful tropical place? They were going live from these places during our conference, like literal Zoom calls.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable. Like infinity pools, people just relaxing. You're looking out over the ocean, beautiful trees everywhere. The sand looked like flour. I mean, it was just everything. The pools were ridiculous. and they had a specialty cocktail too. So I had
Yeah,
a great
the
time there.
MVP cocktail, right? So, one of the reasons why Mexico's so hot right now is because there is no entry requirement as far as testing. So you gotta get tested to come back to the U.S. Of course, if you leave and go anywhere outside the
Right.
U.S., you have to be tested. But Mexico doesn't have a testing requirement. Same thing with Costa Rica. No testing to get into the country. Now, Costa
Right.
Rica is a little different because they require travel insurance with a certain limit. But we got
Right.
that covered, right? So that's why we tell people you always should get travel insurance, especially now more than ever.
And really, because I actually ran into a situation where we had to use it. I
Yeah.
had somebody who we had to cancel flights and move some things around, but that constitutes as being covered by the travel protection. And had he not had that,
We would have lost all that money. Yeah.
all the money. You know what I
Hundreds
mean?
of dollars,
So
almost thousands of dollars, wasn't it?
it was that, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, a
I had it,
little bit
and
in front can save a lot later.
yeah,
Um,
and it was literally $99 for 2 people for the travel insurance. It's
right,
$100.
right. Now, of
If
course,
you're
it
spending,
varies by destination and how much you
all right,
spend and all that. But yeah, it's
yep,
very affordable for what you
yeah,
get.
yeah,
And
between
and
100,
now
100, yeah,
we now even have the ability to offer if you don't want travel protection in the sense you don't want to cancel for any reason, that's
right,
fine. We can now sell you just in destination coverage. So
right,
here's what that means. Let's say you go to Cancun, you're not going to cancel, you're going to go. But let's say Timmy gets sick while he's in destination and he comes down with the vid, right? So he comes down with it. Well, here's what's going to happen. The in-destination protection is going to pay for any and all medical bills that little Timmy has while he's in Mexico. He's
yep,
going to get world-class 100% care from the best doctors that those plans can offer. And then not to mention the resort he's staying at is going to cover that stay for the entire family for up to 14 days. So let's say if,
right,
little Timmy gets, sick and mom comes down with it, but dad doesn't, dad can go home. Mom and
right,
little Timmy are going to stay in their resort for up to 14 days until they
yep.
go back home. And they're not paying
It's
any
worth it.
extra for
Yeah,
that. So those are
protect
the kind of
yourself,
things. Yeah, those
protect
are the kind of
yourself.
things that are making Cancun and Costa Rica and those destinations really popular is
Right,
because you have that safety net, right? So the resorts are going through those clean verification processes where the rooms are clean 24 hours in advance, right? The staffs are all wearing masks or vaccinated.
yep,
All of the drivers that you get from the airport, they've all been vetted. The vehicle's been cleaned. You know what I mean? Like they taking everything to the top notch, right? And it's
right,
showing, right? So Apple Leisure Group, AM Resorts, one of our partners, were the first in the industry to do this when we reopened back up months ago. So they literally set the bar and
yep,
everybody sort of followed. Now you can go, okay, well, what about if I go stay here? They may say complimentary COVID testing. They may say COVID testing available. You got to
right,
read the fine print, right? So
yep,
unless it says it's free, it's not free. So just know that, right? So that's why we work with some of these places that we do is because we get those exclusive partnerships and those benefits that allow us to take that stress away from our guests. Like
yep,
you don't want to go searching for a doctor in Mexico that's going to be able to do a COVID test and it not be in a back alley behind a taco truck. You know what I mean? So,
right.
you know what I
With
mean?
his finger.
Right, exactly. And then he goes and makes a taco afterwards, So, that's the kind of things that you don't want to wind up with. Another good example is a client of mine who's in Costa Rica right now on their honeymoon. He came to me hours after he booked with one of those online popular sites. I'm not going to say who just because we don't like to say who, but he says, hey, I got this. Just want to see what you could do as far as price match. I said, sure, no problem. I price matched it for him. I beat the hotel price that he got online. But in all honesty, my price was a little higher because of the travel protection. So what that site sold him for $45 a piece, so basically $90, was nowhere near what the Costa Rica government required. And his exact words were, why did they sell me that if it wasn't going to work? And I told them, they don't care. They just want your money.
Right.
Once they get your money and once they book your trip, you're on your own. You get there, good luck trying to reach somebody who can help you. And they're going to tell you, sorry, you got to buy this, you got to buy this. So had they not done what they did, they would have got to Costa Rica and had to pay upwards of $200-300 US out of pocket for Costa Ricans' own insurance. And then they would have had to wait to get verified and everything else. Something you don't want to wind up doing on your trip, right?
No.
So
Yep.
that little extra couple $100 that he paid, I guarantee you is all the difference. So it's stuff like that we have our guests' best interest at heart. It's not just our own pocketbooks, right? Even though we make money off of what you travel, we want to make sure that you have the best vacation because ultimately, right, we want you to come back and go on another vacation and take another and take your friends on vacation. So, and it's kind of where I'm building to next, right? So as we get more and more reopen. Hate to keep using that word reopen, but as we get more and more comfortable, people are going to be going back out and traveling like they have been, but they still want that exclusivity. They still want that privacy, that social distancing, right? So that's where we've got this new product that we literally just got yesterday, and it's available now. So if anybody wants to ask us, explore, ask us about it, we can definitely share it. We now have the ability to book villas in over 50 plus destinations around the world. And some of the ones that you see on here on screen, these are from the Orlando area. So specifically near Disney, near Universal. This is not a Disney resort, people. This is a house, a villa. Look at this.
Right.
You, 4 or 5 other families have this whole place to yourself.
Your own game
your kids
room,
have your own game room.
Everything. Yeah.
You want to play golf? If it's raining, you got your own indoor driving range. You want to go to the movies?
Indoor movie
your own
theater.
Private movie theater. You got Moana fans? Guess what? You can sail and sleep in the boat, right? 3 individual beds, their own TV.
These places are insane.
Right? And people say, well, man, this has got to cost a fortune, right? What if I told you that room is priced less than a Disney room? We're talking $200 to $250 a night per room. And you can have literally, some of these houses hold up to 20 plus people. So you can have 4 or 5 families and have more theming, more privacy, more just total immersion in whatever story you want to tell on your vacation.
Yeah.
And literally spend very little. Look at that.
Where you're really going to benefit from these rooms also is the ability to have 4 people in that room.
Right.
So
right.
Breaking it down that way. I mean,
I'm going to pause here for this little I guess doorway, for lack of better terms. That's a secret passage into a play area for the kiddos. So they literally go right from their room into a little secret passage, and they pop out on the other side, and they're in Nemo Land or a Legoland, whatever. Like you're saying, sleeps 4. Each one has their own bunk. This is a room that sleeps 4. It's a Star Wars room, right? So just ultra theming, and then this is for the kid stuff. The parents, for the adults, you're talking 5-star quality bedding, 5-star quality views. I mean, you have open floor to ceiling windows. I mean, you saw some of those pictures there where I had the let's see if I can go back and find it. Yep, there it was.
Yeah, right there. Oh.
Yep. So, I mean, this is like an outdoor open seating area with a fire pit right around the pool. You got a little plunge pool, infinity pool. You've got balconies that are game room areas and grill out areas. So there's all kinds of things to do just outside of the bedroom that you sleep in inside this house. We showed
Kids
you.
Can go watch a movie. They can be playing, doing whatever, and you can still have adult time. So if you take 3, 4 families, that's where this really, you can maximize the value, of course, and be able to relax and not feel crowded or and just have a great escape vacation and still do your park days during the day, but come home to a sanctuary to relax.
Imagine leaving the Disney parks, driving 15 minutes, not on a bus, right? Through our own private MVP People Mover transportation, which will begin May 1st. We pick you up from the parks. We take you 15 minutes away to your own private gated community where your private villa is waiting. And after a day at the parks, you hop in your own pool. It's open till whenever you say it's open till.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You've got a full kitchen.
Yeah.
You got a full kitchen. You got a wet bar. You have drinks and libations all night long with your family and friends, right? You wake up the next day and say, okay, well, we don't want to do the park today. We just want to veg out here at the villa. You can do that, right? So,
or go explore Orlando. Go to Aku Aku or Suffering Bastard and go get some drinks. I mean, you can do anything.
Right. So it's these type of experiences that will truly allow you to take your vacation to that next level, right? So and still get that same exclusivity, that privacy, and that social distance, because that's what's really huge right now. People want to be away from everybody else so that they can enjoy their vacation and not feel crowded or feel any type of just somebody's breathing down my neck the entire time. So and this is just Orlando, right? We've got places all over the world, the Caribbean, Jamaica, and specifically Jamaica. Every villa in Jamaica comes with its own private staff and security. So you have your own private chef, you have your own maitre d', you have your own wine cellier, you have your own maid service, your own butler, you have a private security guard that walks the entire complex at night 8 to 8, sundown to sunup basically, and you're inside these gated communities. So it's even more secure than your typical resorts because
absolutely, Yep.
You literally have to get through a gated private security gate just to even get into the complex. So
Yep.
most resorts don't have that.
Right.
So it's these opportunities, again, you can get anywhere in the world and pay less than what you would for a typical 5-star resort.
Yep.
Like I said, $250 a night per room. Come on. You're going to spend $400 a night in the middle of summer at the Grand Floridian on a cheap rate. That's an outer building. So think about those things.
Your own private sanctuary. So, thanks again, everybody, for coming by tonight and taking your time out. And just, we wanted to show you that it's not just Disney, it's not just Universal, and that we're going to be doing a lot more of these segments, and we'll be breaking it apart by destinations. We can break it apart by all inclusives. We're going to do cruises. We're going to talk about river boats and things like that, and just stuff again that you never thought of or want to think about.
And we want your feedback, right? We want to know, where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Where have you been? Right? You want to come on and talk with us and share your experience of your Danube River cruise you did 5 years ago, or maybe you went to the Louvre the summer before last. Come on.
Maybe you did a transatlantic, sailing with Royal or Carnival, and went from point A to point B.
Right. Come share that with us, either in the video, in the comments,
tell us
group.
About I know everybody here who listens has been to Cancun. So tell us what resort you liked and why. And we can show you that resort, and we can show you guys other resorts that are comparative or maybe even less value. And obviously all travel has its seasons, and we're coming into the busiest part of travel season.
We're already in the busiest part. I mean, literally,
right. The wave started, and now it's just starting to.
It's getting bigger and bigger, right? Yeah. So until more and more places open up and more inventory, this constant supply and demand issue is going to be, around for a while. I don't want to say it's going to be always here, but we won't see the type of inventory we had prior to 2020 for at least a couple of years.
And I'm telling you, and Mark and I were talking about this about a week and a half ago. Is I had a client who I was quoting all inclusives to, and maybe stopped talking for a couple of weeks. Just thinking about it, getting stuff in order, getting ready. You needed passports because obviously, if you're going to travel out of the country, you need a passport. Don't forget that stuff when you think about this stuff, because it does take a little while to get a passport, especially with the office, being slower during the situation. And the price went up. I mean, from
over $1,000, wasn't it?
I think it was $1,300, and it went up to $2,000. And my client was like, "Well, that's crazy. Like, what happened?" I said, "Remember when the gas prices went up? Like, airplanes, they use fuel too, and now there's no more. The demand is a lot more 3 weeks later than it was.
Everybody got their stimulus checks. A family of four's got $6,000 to spend, so they're going to go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right,
and that money's going to go quick, right? So $6,000 for a family of four, all inclusive in Cancun, they live like kings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, for 2 people for 5 nights, it was $1,300 with flights.
Right before it went up.
Right.
Yeah.
Flights.
That was what, 4 nights? 4 nights?
5 nights.
That was
5 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, and crazy.
Incredible. It was. I've never. When I look at it, and Mark and I are even going to show you guys like how we find stuff and how we look for things and things we take into consideration. After getting the information from you of where you want to travel, things I keep in mind. Like for instance, when I look at flights, I don't just put you on a 23-hour standby or a 23-hour layover somewhere, or first thing I do is I try to find direct flights. Obviously, they're usually a lot more money depending on where you're going, but
a lot more convenient.
But a lot
especially
more
when you travel, when you're flying 9-10 hours or whatever.
When you're going overseas, dude, I was looking overseas for a
Hawaii
flight
flights,
the other day.
period.
No, I mean like over to Italy.
Okay.
To get to Pisa. It was 23 hours to get there, and I'm like, when I went there, it was like,
that was probably
to England.
That's probably 23 hours total travel time with layers.
But that's what
everything.
I'm saying.
That's a long day.
2 layovers of 5.5 hours. It's like, come on. But then you find, and there are no direct flights, so don't even think about it.
Not right now.
Right, not right now.
Yeah, you can get direct pretty much to London, to Paris. Yep. I think those are pretty much only the 2 major hubs over in Europe right now that are flying in and out of. I know Greece opens back up in May, but that's not. They don't have any big airports that handle that kind of traffic. So, but yeah, so it's definitely better to look and put something down now than to wait, because all it takes is a deposit to lock in a lot of stuff, and usually those
Yeah.
deposits are
Yeah.
very cheap. Disney's $200, Universal's $50 a person usually. A lot of these
200 on a package,
Right.
10%, no, 20% on a room only, or it's a room plus tax. One
first night
plus
rate plus tax, right, for
plus
room
tax,
only.
yeah. That's what it is.
A lot of these all inclusives, if you're doing whether it be airfare or not airfare, it's usually if you buy the travel insurance. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be an $8,000 package. You only got to put $750 down. I mean,
Right.
that's less than your plane tickets, right? So,
Right.
and then there's opportunities to finance. So we've got companies like Uplift Financial that you literally can
Yeah.
pay off your vacation up to 2 years at 0% interest.
Right.
Why wouldn't you? I
Right.
mean,
No interest. That's silly.
that's silly, right? I
Yeah.
can take a $10,000 vacation and it still costs me $10,000 2 years from now as I pay it off. Yeah.
You can do it monthly. Yeah, not have to come up with it up front. So Sandra says she wants to go to Greece.
Who doesn't want to go to Greece? Santorini, right? So that's definitely on my bucket list. I've got a friend who lives in Greece. He's actually stuck here in the States, but when he goes back in May, he's like, dude, come to Greece. I'd love to show you around. So that's one of my places. I'm heading there next. I've got my passport. I'm ready to go. So I'm just ready to hop on a plane. But again, thank you everybody for joining us.
Next week we're gonna jump into Apple Leisure Group all inclusives. I think is what we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
So
we'll highlight a few resorts. We'll talk about some really cool places.
We'll start the ball rolling, and then you guys tell us what you want to hear about next. You want to talk about cruises? You want to hear about the difference between Royal and Caribbean and Virgin? And we can price it all out for you. Just tell you what it would cost. I mean that's all it is.
Yep.
And we can also tell you why we like things better.
Exactly. And cruising's back, guys. It may not be in the US, but cruising is starting up this summer. It's already they're selling boats.
I heard like next week. Who was it? Was it Royal? Coming out of London. They're going to be sailing from London.
Basically, they're
or something. It's like the end of next week.
Those sailings are actually like cruise to nowhere. So they're basically calling them holidays at sea. So basically they're going to go out to sea, circle around out in the in the channel and stuff and come back, right?
Thailand's been cruising for 2 months now. 2 months. Nope. Thailand. Not two or three, but not even one case of the situation.
The article that I read today says since cruising's reopened in other parts of the world, I think there's been over, I want to say something like 80,000 passengers that have cruised, right? And there's only been 50 reported cases of COVID. And out of those 50, they weren't able to confirm if it was got pre-trip or while they were on the boat, right? So it's kind of like Disney. You're like, oh, I got COVID, but did you get it at Disney? You really don't know. You know what I mean?
Because it can hit you for 2 weeks. Sure. You could have been at Jimmy's birthday party,
So, and Florida just sued the government today, this past couple days ago. So they're really actively petitioning to get cruising back. They want July 1st. That's what they're shooting for.
The cruise lines are threatening to pull out of the United States, and
they are.
It's very weird how cruise companies work because they sail out of different countries. It's not that
their boats are registered out of foreign countries, and they've got their corporations are in certain countries, and it's weird, right?
It's all
political and money. Yeah,
all politics. Yeah, but
hey, they're going to find a way to cruise.
Yeah, we're going to get into all that kind of stuff. So we just like talking about travel because it's something we're passionate about, and I can't tell you the amount of hours me and this kid sit through webinar after webinar after webinar, and it's like, okay, and you know what? Yeah, some of them are just repetitive, but then maybe 15 minutes into one, I'm like, I had no idea. I didn't even think about that. So.
I learned about all those great villas I just showed you yesterday, right? 12 hours ago, 24 hours ago. So it literally is the reason we do what we do is we love it. Like he says, we're passionate about it, and we're passionate about making sure that our guests have the best time. So
and just so you know, we both have day jobs. This isn't like we're not retiring.
We got families. We got families, day jobs. We got life. Yep.
When we work for a great company. They're a very supportive company.
Absolutely. The best in the industry, hands down.
Well, yeah, we are, because we have all the highest rankings with everybody, Disney and Universal, especially. We're top 3 in both of those companies.
Yeah,
top two.
But we're up there. We're with the top. Yeah. So we're taking the pack. So all right.
Put it this way: we have a private phone number for each of those companies. We have a backdoor number to call, and then there's the back door. We have that number. So
we've got the side door around the back door.
Right. Exactly. So yeah. Awesome. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Hopefully you guys like it and want to learn and learn with us, because
Yep.
we're learning too all the time. We're all trying to navigate the seas of life, people. Just
That's right.
trying
Trying to get there together, right? Have
was
that adventure.
terrible.
No, that's right. Have that adventure. So, again, thank
Yep.
you for joining us. Be back with us again next week. We're going to try again to do this every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Of course, unless we're outside of our normal viewing areas, and then we'll see what we can do. But
All
thank you
inclusive.
for
We're gonna
watching.
do all
Yeah.
inclusives. Yep.
Thanks
next
for
week.
joining.
So if you know somebody who wants to do an all inclusive, your aunt went on an all inclusive, have her come by, take a listen. Your uncle was just there 2 weeks ago. Have him come by, take a listen. Maybe they could tell us something. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
we rely on what our clients say. We don't Google and look up Google reviews and all that kind of stuff. It's like, so how was it? Like I'm calling clients the next day. I'm like, yeah, so what'd you do? How's
Yeah.
it going? Like,
We have debriefings with our clients. I mean, don't get me wrong. We
Right.
we find out what they like, what they didn't like, and we use those not only to our own experiences, but to our other guests' experiences. So if
Right.
they didn't like this, then chances are you're not going to like that.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
yeah, those are the kind of things. But
Ooh, all inclusives in a room. We'll talk about those. But
yeah,
those are coming back too.
yeah, I got you. I know you're chomping at the bit. Nate just
I'm
wants to
ready.
let it all out right now. He's like, let's go, let's go. But
All
we
right, cool.
got to save it. We got to save it.
Yep.
And if you miss the live shows, you can always come back and watch us on repeat.
Yeah,
YouTube,
we're on YouTube.
Facebook Live. So obviously come back and watch us, and we'll see you again real soon, everybody. Thank you and have a wonderful night.